All right, guys. So today we're gonna be reacting to another Jesse Lee Peterson Savage Moment, Part 12. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We're gonna jump in quick. We already know host Jesse Lee Peterson. He keeps us very nice and very happy with his troll level 9,000. So with that, let's jump in.
There was a so-called gay pride parade in West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
A mess. Did you know that the month of June is so-called Gay Pride Month? The whole month, the entire month. So we went up to Hollywood to find out what are they proud of. Why are they proud of being a homosexual or a lesbian? Amazing. They're charging us an arm and a leg and a short thigh for our dairy products. Canada is ripping us off. It just goes to show that past presidents have not been good for America, especially the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. He just gave away everything. He went around the world bowing down, saying that I'm here now, you don't have to worry. I'm the first feminist president. In other words, he's a girly man. Oh, lesbian.
And tariffs are going to come way down because people cannot continue to do that. We're like the piggy bank that everybody's robbing, and that ends.
That's right. Don't you love that?
Yep.
Now, Obama would give the whole piggy bank away. Here, you want it? Remember how he did over in, was it Iran?
Spread the wealth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gave
Amazing.
him a bunch of $4 billion cash.
In the
something like that.
wee hours
Oh,
of the
man.
night while we were sleeping, he's taking the piggy bank over there. This is from CBS. Robert De Niro says, F Trump.
Obama gave everything away, man. Man, I couldn't believe I was so naive, man. But that's what happened when you're in college and Republicans are bad and America is bad, all that BS. That's what you get.
Trump to cheers from the crowd. Watch this.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
Really, bro? Look at these woke, demonic Balenciaga people. Look at that.
Look at there.
Cool. Learn some points.
He's weak. He's a beta male. California is the place to be, but I don't like what it has become since that time. It's so nasty around here, and high taxes and violent crimes, illegal aliens everywhere, people sleeping on the streets, and it's dirty and awful. It's like the Democrats took paradise and turned it into
Hell.
a nightmare, into hell.
It wasn't Donald Trump who made California the highest tax state in the country. It was Gavin Newsom and the Democrats.
I have to tell you, the other day, yesterday, matter of fact, I was walking down the road, and they're like these little homeless people.
Depends.
They go and they build a little thing there where they want to sleep and live, I guess. And it's the worst mess you ever seen in your entire life. They use the bathroom right on the sidewalk, and they leave it there. And they'll do it right by your businesses. They have no respect for that at all. They have no shame. It's not.
Man, California is a very interesting. It's a very interesting state because it's mostly completely controlled by Democrats, man. But Hollywood, Los Angeles, San Francisco, these places are so expensive and homeless everywhere. It's like, is it the politics or is it that something else I cannot fathom or understand?
Not uncommon to be driving down the road and see men and women on the sidewalks taking a dump. If Gavin Newsom gets in and these Democrats continue to run the state, or anywhere that they take over,
Everything.
it is over. I want to go to Darren is a first-time call out
Okay, here
of
we go.
California. Darren, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Darren. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Yes, sir.
You seem to call a lot of other people liars, but I hear you say things constantly like the Democrats don't want this and the Democrats cause that.
Give me
It's
an
just
example.
ridiculous, man. And I really can't believe you still have a TV show. You need to get some of
Wow.
What a gross man. I had to let him go because he cursed. What a gross man. Would you like that to be your husband, ladies, your father to your children?
Very
Angry
emotional.
people can't even have a reasonable conversation because their spirit is weak and they're very
It's like they're so contaminated with guilt that they just wait for the perfect opportunity and they just latch out.
emotional, like their father, the devil. And even if they are male, if they're angry, they're still weak and pathetic.
True.
You got to overcome the anger. So you teach about racism. Define racism for me.
Hatred towards another race or skin color.
Bro, what?
I've never met a person who hate another person just based on color alone. Have you?
I have.
You have. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I was actually a student I had at the museum. We started talking about Black Lives Matters. I was talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights movements today. And he kind of interrupted me and said that he thought Black Lives Matters was people trying to incite a race war. And that really disturbed me. So I pulled him aside at one point and I kind of just asked him. I didn't challenge his
Lady, your hair is blue.
opinions. I just wanted to understand why he felt that way. But my understanding is that he grew up in a household that instilled those ideas into his head.
So I can see that Black Lives Matter is an evil group. They're worse than the KKK.
I
They are
wouldn't
trying
say
to
that.
stir up a war between the races, a race war. Am I racist?
I don't think you're a racist if you feel that way.
But the white guy, you just said the white guy was a racist, or is a racist for feeling that way?
Well, I don't know if I would call him a racist necessarily because he was so young, and I tried to understand that people that young, and from talking to him, I think he was brought up to have those ideas.
But that's not racism, right? It's just they're hating another group for a judgment that they made about that group. That wouldn't make them racist.
Well, I think because he was this one kid I'm talking about, who I think is the closest thing I've really interacted with, where someone you could see even at such a young age. He was really a child, and he had with such fervor these emotions about just when I brought up Black Lives Matters, he got really angry. There were people of color in our group as well, and he started saying these things.
What do you think about how I feel about Black Lives Matter? It's an evil, dirty group, agitator group of people, and they're no different or maybe even worse than the KKK. What do you think about me feeling that way?
Do you really feel that way?
100%.
You do? That they're worse than the KKK?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I can't comment on that because
Oh, man, you're so racist, lady. You just think about minorities so low, bro. It's just insane.
I'm white.
There we
So
go.
I feel like that's generally between different
hair is
ethnic
blue.
groups and people of different skin colors. So I feel like I can't comment on your feelings and opinions towards an organization around your own ethnicity.
How about if I said that about a white group? Would you comment then?
if
If
it
I
was,
said the KKK is evil, you know, evil group of white people, would you comment then?
I would agree with you on a personal standpoint, and also because you are not white, there might be.
There you go. She said it. She's a racist.
That to me is racism. It's between different ethnic groups and skin colors.
How you come up with this? Where do you come from?
Where do I come from?
Where you-
From LA.
How are you coming up with this?
Insanity.
Just my thoughts.
Oh my god.
Did you make this up yourself, or did someone teach you this?
No, these are just my thoughts.
What do you?
Oh my god, this is insane. Lady, you sound like a walking contradiction plus racism on top of it.
Say
Oh
to a
my
person like
God.
me who realized that racism is an illusion, and it's made up by people who are liars, and they want to control a group of people, like the black race hustlers want to control the white folks in order to gain power and wealth. So they keep black people angry pretending that racism exists so they can use them to go after the whites so they can gain power and wealth. What would you say to me?
point.
That's an interesting opinion I've never heard before.
You've never heard that?
Good point.
Wow. I'm so
Insane.
sorry to hear that. Will you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense?
It does make sense. I see what you're saying.
What is social activism?
Activism by means of using social means as like what we do at the temple is
To push communism, we get it.
a lot of it is media based. A lot of it is we're not just armchair activists sitting behind a computer doing
There you
things,
go with the
making
wizardry.
phone calls. We actually go out and get our hands dirty. We do protests. That's what we're known
Yeah.
for.
So they're basically people, militants for a certain group, which is the Democrat Party. She says it. She's dedicated to that. She earned her living doing that.
What do you
It's
want?
not a real cost.
We want to draw attention to the idea that America is headed towards a theocracy, and there's certainly people in power who want that and are fighting for it.
Amazing. I read on your website that women, Satan, and feminism are closely connected to one another.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree with her.
Can you
only thing that we
explain that
agree-
to me?
It's the same thing you look at throughout history. You look at things like Satan and you look at women. The two have been
She says it.
persecuted without real inquiry into why they're persecuted. It's just sort of an assumption. It's something we're told
Okay,
to do.
So basically, you're using the emotion of whatever happened to Satanism and feminism, put it all together. Hey, we're equal. I'm just agreeing with certain things, but not because of that. You're just
Especially
crazy.
in any society that's heavily Judeo-Christian in values. In terms of Christianity, Catholicism, you see that the story of Eve, she was sort of the first person who bit from the apple from the tree of knowledge. She was the first one, I suppose, who interacted with Satan. In Orthodox Judaism, women can't pray or oftentimes eat in the same places that the men do. In Islam, women have to cover their bodies. And we have that here in any major Judeo-Christian society. You go to a tribal society somewhere, you'll see the same thing when women are menstruating. They have to go live on the outskirts of the village.
But I don't think you'll find that in America today.
Hey, how is that even close of what are we living today in America? You just said a bunch of rhetoric with no connection. You just mentioned America and all these villages and stuff like that, and somehow you connected all those things.
In America today,
Oh,
women can do whatever they want.
Not exactly.
Give me something that they can't do in America today.
There's places where you can't get an abortion, or at least not without scrutiny.
But that's because that location has decided not to perform an abortion. But because it's legal to have an abortion in America, you can have an abortion. And you can almost go into any clinic in a hospital and have an abortion.
Oftentimes, women don't have access to that everywhere in our country, so they have to rely
So
on
what do you want? You wanted to a Planned Parenthood in a corner? Oh my God.
really dangerous methods like, falling down a staircase hoping the child is killed because it's,
You don't believe that.
what's that?
You don't believe that.
I know I've read of situations where women had to induce a termination of a pregnancy because they couldn't get access to an abortion.
Well, that's
to be
ridiculous.
kidding
They
me.
can go anywhere and have an abortion now.
No. Well, I think this was in the late 90s. This is-
Oh. Deceitful.
Oh, that's
Satan
not
is
today.
deceitful.
I'm talking about today.
Today?
Women can have an abortion anywhere.
Anywhere.
And the government pays for it. We pay for
How
it.
about the waiting period?
Does white privilege exist?
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
And where's the proof of that?
All around. I tell people often now, in hindsight, one of the things that I wish I would have been more cognizant of was the white privilege at UCLA that was sitting, right next to me. For Black people, I believe white privilege is something to leverage.
What is it though? I
These
don't
are
see it
wizards.
anywhere. What
I
is
got-
it?
Wizardry, everywhere.
Huh?
What is it?
How don't you
For
not
people
see
like
white
me who
privilege?
don't see it,
How do you not see white privilege?
because it doesn't exist. That's
Yes,
what
it does.
So what is it exactly?
I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as
kidding me.
Black people have to deal with. I mean, there's no white racial profiling. White people don't get pulled over by the cops just because they're white. They have the ability to, show emotion and love to their sons without being emasculated. There's all kind of examples
That's
of white
amazing
privilege.
that you believe that.
Absolutely. Why don't you black? How come you don't believe white privilege exists? What you see?
Well, because I am black in color, but I don't have that dark mentality that most black people have.
Clearly.
I see, she said clearly, I see that white people have the same struggles and things that we have, in that
What type of
they have
struggles
to
do they
make their
have?
marriages work. They have to make their children, help their kids grow up in the right way so that they can earn a living and be independent.
But they also have the majority of
They
their
make
fathers
kids-
at home.
Right,
We don't
and the
have-
reason for that, it's starting to change somewhat now, but the reason for that is because they are taking responsibility for that, whereas black men and women
Cultural.
are not taking responsibility for that, as they did prior to the civil rights movement. Black people are blaming it on their lack of self-control and self-containment. They're blaming it on white people, while white people are working hard to keep it going.
I do
for
believe
themselves.
that there is a need for black people to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse racism, that doesn't excuse institutionalized racism, that doesn't excuse.
But there's no
that-
such thing
Yes,
as that.
yes,
It's
it
an illusion
is.
made
No,
up
it's
by
not.
black people, and
No,
I need to practice more stoicism, man, because this is insane. This is something that I cannot believe people believe in these things, man, because it's just, feminism has come to a point where accountability is just equal to zero. Zero.
the leaders.
no, it's not. It exists.
Well,
Sorry.
where's the
Massive
proof of it, though?
What do you mean, where's the proof of it?
There are many kids who are getting into, black kids who are allowed to get into these universities around the country, right, based on affirmative action.
Yeah,
And
everywhere.
because of affirmative action based on their color. That's discrimination based on color, and that's wrong. And these kids are getting in, but they're not earning their way. So when they fail, they feel less than before they were allowed to get in based on color.
I'm a proud product of affirmative action. When I went to UCLA, it was because I was an affirmative action student.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I think I turned out fantastic. So a lot of my peers who were having challenges getting into some of these predominantly white institutions, the affirmative action was great. My father went to Harvard. He was one of very few blacks.
Was he affirmative action person?
I don't know if he was. That was back in the late 60s.
Well,
I don't
then
know.
he wasn't. He
Okay.
earned his way.
So, that being said,
That statement just went through her entire head. Forget about that statement. I'm telling you, feminism feminism should not be even allowed in politics, man.
I still believe that affirmative action helped me get into UCLA, and it gave me access.
You would
and
not have
exposure.
gotten in there on your own because you were not smart enough.
I don't know if I wasn't smart enough, but based on the curve and what I was
It's
competing
racist,
with
lady. You cannot see it. It's racist. It's racist.
other individuals who had different educational opportunities and teachers. I mean, I'm coming from the LA Unified School District. I mean, so at the time, I think LAUSD was still pretty good. But I went to all white schools
Get it.
from high school up
So you
through
got
college.
a good education. Why couldn't you get into the school based on your own talent?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't have some of the opportunity.
But you
First of
had
all-
the opportunity.
No, well, first of all,
You had the same
SAT,
opportunity those white kids were having.
Not necessarily. I had different teachers. I had different
So you went
resources.
to a white integrated school,
I'm talking about
mostly
going
white.
into these other into UCLA. I still had to be able to deal with some of the issues and going to predominantly white schools.
Like
but I
what?
still had to be able to compete.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Some of the issues going to a
I
predominantly
went to I would graduate from University High School, and at the time they didn't have an African American student union.
Why does that even matter? How does that make you more smarter? I think it's better. You have more obstacle. You have more character to build. You have more space to build character. My God, man, this is insane.
We
An African American student union.
at the school
Well, that's a good thing.
they didn't have one.
That's a good thing.
Why?
Why do you need something like that?
They have Asian student unions. They have Jewish student unions. They have all kind of
Did
different.
they have white
unions.
student union?
They need student union. They own the whole school. So
But the kids didn't own the school. The kids didn't.
But I'm
own it.
saying there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong
It's
with having
amazing
a
that you think this way.
segregated,
Amazing.
population
Insane.
of students who just want to study together, or work together, or to be able to
Would you
deal
be in
with.
support of a white student union?
Yeah, of course.
It would be okay with you?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
But most blacks don't feel that way.
I think all cultures should be able to segregate and to be able to work within their cultures and network within their own cultures. Absolutely.
Does racism exist?
I believe racism does exist.
And where's the
absolutely.
proof of that?
You just see it all over in the country. With proof of it. In
What-
terms of just
what do
the
I see?
I
disproportionate.
see it from you, lady. See, it's all about projection. A lot of these people that practice Marxism and communism, it's all about projection. Feminism is just full of projection. Everything that they say, you have to throw it back at them, and you will see the real person. It's all about projection, folks.
In the economics with black people,
But that has nothing to do with racism.
it does. Racism is about power. It's about who's in control.
The poll went
And
from
black
here
people can't
all
be
the way
racist
here.
because we're not in control. We're not in control of
They're
the
moving the
educational
goalposts,
system,
man.
some of the social organizations and things that run this country. We're not in control. Racism is about power.
But you would
What
be in
race is
control of your
control?
own life if you had good parents, if they taught you how to be independent, if they taught you how to build, how to take care of. I've noticed that the reason I left where I lived over there in the Crenshaw district is that once the white people left, because once I moved there, when I first moved there, it was mostly whites. But once they left, as they did in Gary, Indiana, and other places, the blacks turned it into a ghetto. A beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. But if blacks had more character and they were taking care of themselves and being responsible and buying land and teaching their
But that
children,
has to be taught.
then so that has nothing to do with racism.
But that has to, of course, that has to be taught.
So it's not racist. It's not white people's fault that you're not teaching your children to do that.
No, but it's not. If the
that true?
parents don't know,
They
if the
don't know.
parents,
But that's not white people's fault,
though. But if they go into some of these institutions, these predominantly white institutions, they are targeted. They don't have the same opportunities because of their color.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I agree with that kid. It's crazy. How you can come up with this stuff, man? Oh my god. I think this is the power of reaction, I guess. We share some experience, man. It's just cringy. Oy. Some of these things, you can smell the bad intentions of some of these folks, man. You can just smell it, bro. Ugh. Yeah. This was not funny, but it was like cringy, man. Ugh. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you in the next one. I'm out.